All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another edition, special edition of our Yes Delft Student Podcast, hosted from our office in the Yes Delft building, where today I will discuss with Pablo from Project Krill and Arthur from SAS Analytics. Welcome, guys. Glad to have you here.
Same.
Um, of course, at Yes Delft Students, we are all about enabling you guys, the students, to do whatever you want and to create a company, to find your network, to find your fellows that are also interested in entrepreneurship. And we do this in several ways. We try to set up events, we help educate other students by setting up minor and master electives, but also we try to coach student teams and startup teams where possible. And one great example of that has come through in our programs is actually Pablo himself from Project Krill. Pablo, would you be able to shortly introduce yourself and Krill?
Yes, thank you, Jelle. So Krill is a project which started 1.5 years ago within the Next Generation Robotics Honors Program of TU Delft. And we started developing boats in the field of water quality. And our main goal is to improve, model, and monitor water quality.
Right.
And we do this by developing a swarm of autonomous boats.
Mm-hmm. That's good to hear. And that's really nice. And you've been introduced to Yes Delft students before.
Yeah, so in our first year of existence, we already engaged with the ecosystem of Yes Delft.
Right.
We participated in the Clean Tech Challenge. We got third best project in the Netherlands.
Right.
We are also part of the Yes Delft student program, in which we receive coaching, we receive legal advice, which are two big aspects in our entrepreneurial journey.
And apart from Yes Delft students, you guys have been going for quite some time now, and I can assume that you haven't been doing this all by yourself. You have a team, and you have organizations like Yes Delft students and like SAS.
Yeah.
Could you tell us something about that?
Yeah. So we of course are not alone. We're a team of 5 main members, but we have volunteers. We form a total of 25 people working on our project, and we are also lucky to have the support both from TU Delft, including Yes Delft, and other commercial partners such as Doltares and SAS here today with us. So Arthur, if you want to go deeper into what SAS is.
Yeah, so we are partner of Yes Delft students because we think that mainly all startups now are dealing with data and
right.
and AI.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right.
And as a company, we are already for 45 years active in the space of analytics and AI. We bring this knowledge to our customers worldwide, mainly big organizations, but we thought we should engage with innovators in the field. Mm-hmm. So we proactively reached out to different universities, amongst others TU Delft. And so we became a partner of Robo Valley. We became a partner of Yes Delft students. We have talks now with Yes Delft as well to actually support all kinds of innovators, being student teams, being startups, to help them in their, as we call it, analytical journey. So what can you do with all these data coming out of the system? How can you create your learning systems and create great insights actually for your customers?
Right,
and that's exactly what we are now doing with
I think this is a really beautiful example of what happens when you connect students to student organizations to corporate organizations with a lot of knowledge that you can actually apply. But before we dive into the specific application of the knowledge of SAS, maybe you can give a short description of the journey that Krill has been going through up to this very moment.
Yeah.
How we all ended up at this table, actually.
Yeah, so we started, as I said, 1.5 years ago, 5 students from the Next Generation Robotics Honors Program. In there, we started together with Doltares, first on just a collector of duckweed and blue-green algae. Mm-hmm. But then we started realizing that in the field of water quality, there's a lot of problems that are not being addressed. And one of the reasons is because we don't have enough data. And as Arthur said, everywhere there's more and more data available that sometimes we don't even know that it exists. And it was this journey that has allowed us to pivot, also a really important aspect in any entrepreneurial journey. And we have moved from a hardware startup towards enabling big data to be possible in the field of water quality. And that is exactly what brings us here today with part of our ecosystem with Yes Delft, and also with our analytics partner, a key aspect in any data-driven solution in the market.
Yeah, so you were starting out with this hardware product, and then the whole organization pivoted towards software.
Yeah, so we still develop our boats, so we still develop our hardware because they give us a competitive advantage in the market to be able to obtain all this data, but we focus our added value in the insights we can provide with this data. So for us, the hardware is just a means to an end rather than an end itself.
Yeah, and at some point you ran into this this opportunity, but maybe also a problem, because this whole bag of data.
Yeah.
And is that when you got in touch with SAS?
Yeah, so actually it was the minor robotics we participated. That's also why the university is so important. We were participating in the minor robotics, developing a sampling system. And we met there with Arthur and some of the engineers of SAS that were providing help to some of the teams in the minor robotics. And we started developing the relationship and seeing how their analytics power fits into our needs, and this is what brings us here today.
And it's really cool that two of our data scientists are now involved. One is on the architectural side of how to design your system in a way that you can not only do one project, but that you can do several projects, and not only in the Netherlands, but later also
worldwide. So it's
worldwide.
scalable.
So that it's scalable, that it's governed, because mainly in this water management world, you need explainability to prevent liability. So you want to be sure that your models work correctly in the way they should. You want to have your management being efficient. So you can take your own path in the open source and try to find your way yourself. But because we have so much experience in how to orchestrate your whole data analytics AI journey, we offered them help in first the architectural design, and secondly on what kind of knowledge do you need to create the most effective analytical toolkit that you need for your customers.
So that it's both scalable, governed, and future-proof, I think is the key here.
That's the key. That's
beautiful. That's good to hear. I think it's a very cool implementation of how you can work together. But I was actually wondering, maybe also for the audience, what is a practical application of the solution you guys are providing?
Yeah, so at this stage we are still in the problem solution fit. So we are testing our solution that can solve a problem, and we are in this phase of also researching what other problems within the water quality field we can solve, and what all this data can tell us about current existing problems. And we are working not only with our engineers but also with SAS to see how we can make the most sense out of this data. And in fact, we are already doing this with the client. We are doing this with the municipality and water board of Utrecht, and we are really happy to cooperate with SAS to make the most out of the data we collect in the main canals of Utrecht.
And we are really eager to lift this, you might call it a proof of concept, towards a product and a solution which can really fit the requirements of the market. So you might say that together now we are running into becoming an enterprise. So from Project Krill being a student's team and a student's project into a startup which is really capable of meeting the needs in the market. And well, that's exactly what we're doing at the municipality of Utrecht, and others will follow very soon.
Yeah, I think one of the key aspects is what you mentioned, this transition from a student project to
an actual startup.
And I think Yes Delft here and Yes Delft student program has a lot of potential to help a lot of students that have a dream about having a startup, and they just have a small project with friends that, with a correct ecosystem and with help of other partners, this can become a reality, and it's not as idealistic as it may seem.
Right, because I think, like you said, there are a lot of students that in the back of their heads they have this very smart idea for themselves, but obviously they are wondering in how to take this next step and to keep pursuing that dream of realizing it into a company or any other shape or form. What do you think are the key aspects that you need, or the steps you should take being the student? Because I think it's really not that difficult.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing doesn't come on the solution, it comes on the problem. So once
Right.
you have a problem and you have a solution, or a solution you think may solve this problem, because the solution will probably change throughout the journey, but once you have a problem you want to solve and you know it exists, then you can start to think about what do you need in order to solve this problem. So I think in Delft we have the benefit that there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of technical talent, so we know how to solve problems, and we need to partner with the right people that can convert this solution into a company. So I think a first step is reach out to people that have been throughout this journey. There's a lot of experience and that new entrepreneurs can make use of. For example, Yes Delft students, you have been working with startups, with teams for a long time, and you have a lot of experience and a network. Then people that just have an idea can make use of it to realize this idea.
Yeah.
And what I really liked at Project Krill, and nowadays Krill, is that Pablo and his team, they just dare to do it. They just dare to reach out. So as soon as they heard about us in the minor robotics, they clamped us and they said, can you please tell us everything about analytics and how can you help? And let's just do it. And that's, I think, the attitude you need as a potential entrepreneur. Just start. You have a dream, or for those who don't have an idea or don't have a dream but just want to be part of a team to become successful in some way of bringing technology into practice,
into society. Yeah.
Just go out there and like Pablo says, there are so many entrepreneurs who are willing to share their story and to help you, to support you. And we as a company, we are here as well, and there are loads of partners here, and not only here in Delft but also in Rotterdam, in The Hague, because yes, Delft now is expanding its frontiers. So make use of all the business how do you call it, the bedrijfskunde, the business administration
right,
students in Rotterdam,
and team up with them,
and team up with them. And that's, so make use of the ecosystem and unlock your potential.
Yeah, I can totally. I think ecosystem is really the key word here. Find your stakeholders and create the surroundings that are right for you and your team to really put your ideas out there. And do you think there are other platforms? I mean, we mentioned Yes Delft and Yes Delft students a lot, but there must be more platforms also in Delft that we can do and to meet other people.
Well, for instance, if you're interested in robotics, just go to Julianalaan and just look at what's happening there at RoboHouse and in the Robo Valley community. And there are several places here around us, SAMXL, you name it, RADD on autonomous driving systems.
PortXL in Rotterdam.
PortXL in Rotterdam.
I think the main question here is, in what field do you have your idea, and just reach out to people, because we were discussing before how unexpectedly there's a lot of people willing to help. So just send emails, call people, ask for their network. Also through SAS we've been able to reach people that we didn't even know that it was possible. And it's just by asking and by taking action, there's a lot of things you can do which you wouldn't think they were possible.
There is a lot of potential out there, and it's usually closer than you think.
Yeah,
I think is the key. That's beautiful. And now to go back a little bit to Project Krill, with the involvement of SAS, you've worked to create this scalable, future-proof product, and you're already actually working with customers. What does the future hold for you guys?
Yeah, so as I said, we're validating our solution right now. And once we've validated that solution and we've discovered the potential of analytics in this field, we'll continue to expand our customers throughout the Netherlands. So first, we are doing a first pilot project we have done with Utrecht, and we see that this is an issue not only in the city of Utrecht but all around the Netherlands. So we want to continue validating our idea and validating our market. Once this has been done, then together with this future-proof solution we have developed, we can look into expanding into other market segments and other even countries. So
recently we did a what you call a lean canvas workshop together.
Right.
And we got great help from one of our fellows at Cary in North Carolina, where our headquarters are there. And this guy, he already did 3 exits, I think.
7 companies,
and 7 companies he built, and he was helping us to get it sharp, really sharp on
Not just touch the.
what is the problem
Yeah.
you address. What is the kind of solution you want to provide to tackle this problem? What is your ambition in terms of geography? So is it just the Netherlands, or is the next phase Europe or the world? And to become a realistic entrepreneur. So it's really great to have bold dreams, but stay on the ground by, okay, so what's then the next step and the step afterwards?
there was a sentence that he mentioned that I thought it was really interesting, which was said that the lean canvas needs to be north of compelling but south of insane, which I think really shows what the ambition should be. So you should have ambition, you should thrive for success, but you should also be realistic in what you can achieve and what you need in order to achieve the goals.
Right. And is this a trend you see in other startups that you are working with?
Well, what we see is that those who reach out to a lot of others, be it small, medium enterprises, corporates, or governmental agencies as well.
Right.
And of course, this kind of incubators, accelerators,
student organizations, whatsoever, yeah.
But those who are really open to cooperate and not do everything in their square meters. These are the ones who are thriving, who are accelerating their business, who are pivoting faster, because most of the startups who are successful, they have done
they're flexible.
They're flexible, and they have various pivots in there. So that's what we experience at various startups, and also those really successful startups becoming scale-ups, that they are open. And they have this attitude of learning, being very curious, and
they want to be out there.
They want to be out there, and they're curious on, okay, what can we learn? What can we do better? Are we on the right track? Etc. Etc.
Yeah, for example, in Project Krill, we have two main partners. Together with SAS, we have Delft, and they are a really well-known partner in the water quality field.
Yeah, of course.
And for us, showing ourselves to water organizations as a project supported by big corporations such as SAS and Delft gives us a lot of reputation and reliability also. So I think the network behind a company is also really beneficial.
Once again, it really amplifies on how important it is to find the right stakeholders.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think you both have proven that really improves this process.
Yes.
Yeah, I think also one in the business world, I think everyone can help each other, and we were discussing the other day also where there's a lot of situations which are a win-win for both, and when two different parties have benefits in an agreement, then there's a lot that come out of this agreement, and helping people will always end up by having people helping you.
And and I think a lot of people are willing to help, are very enthusiastic to help. It's only about reaching out and getting in touch.
Yeah.
Cool. Before I end with a general note, are there some wise words of advice that you would like to close off this podcast with? Both, I think, from the the student entrepreneur perspective, but also from the perspective of the stakeholder, let's say. Do you want to start, Pablo?
Sure. For me, I think the main advice would be find a good team, because the problem, you can find new problems to solve. Solutions will definitely change. Partners will come and go, but the team is the most foundation part of the project.
Yeah.
So you need to be realistic as well. Find out what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and try to not be afraid to add more people to your team to cover this, to strengthen your team. So I would say, for me, if you're alone or you are a technical team with a great idea, don't be scared to add people from Erasmus, from business perspective, or from any other background that can complement your team and make your team
even stronger.
Yeah.
Number one is always team. So that's it for sure.
Yeah.
And if you are in a business where data is your fuel and your engine, so you're a data-driven business,
Data-driven company. Yeah.
then you definitely should take into account your scalability by design. So, of course, it is really important that you get your products in place, that you have your product market fit there, that you have your team, that you have your investment over there. But I see too many startups who, in the phase of, or actually on the verge of scaling their business, that they are not ready with the platform to scale their business from a
You
data
want to
and
start with a strong foundation if you want to grow.
Yeah,
I
if
see.
you want to grow, and specifically when data are actually the main asset, then create your analytics foundation in a way
create
that
it
you
well.
are scalable, ready to become enterprise worthy.
Amazing. Thank you guys for the amazing advice. I think it's from two beautiful perspectives. And in general, thank you guys. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you, Arthur, for coming here today and telling us about your story from the student perspective, and also how you can get help from your ecosystem. And
Yeah, thank you for having us.
yeah,
It
and
was
that's,
a pleasure.
that's I think the note I want to end it on. Don't be afraid to step out there. If you want to unlock your potential, send that one email, get in touch with us, get in touch with SAS, get in touch with RoboHouse, or just send an email to one of your fellow students that's an entrepreneur already. A lot of people are willing to help. Of course, we provide a lot of the framework by setting up events and other programs that you can join for free usually. To work on your ID or to see if it's interested, if you want to get onboarded on some kind of team. Be sure to check out our social networks and also our websites, which will be posted in the description of this podcast. And on that note, I would thank you guys a lot. And it was great having you here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.